All right, the battle continues. As you can see, I decided to remove the door so that this guy can sit in the spot that he's supposed to be in. Everybody comes off of fatigue. Blah. And we're moving on. What's this guy got left? This blue punk has got 11 health left. You're going down, Bluey. Okay. So let's go ahead and start with Nyx. See what she's got to offer here. Circle of Healing. Yeah, I like the sound of that. Because we have taken some damage. I'm tracking it over here. Herodotus has taken 6 damage. Yemi's down to 46 out of 60. Holy Ray won't kill him though. He has 11 hit points left. If an ally was in 3 of you, first hit of your turn, deal 5 damage. 5 plus 6 is 11. Okay. So this will kill her. This will kill the opponent if it hits because of her passive. So she's going to stay where she is. So she's going to focus. And she is going to attack our little buddy there. And just as a reminder, focused causes exposed, which is -3 to defense. His defense is 5, goes down to 2. I rolled a 17. So for going through the power order, looks like we got our tokens messed up a bit here. Yeah. For going through the activation order, the attack timeline, strike hits, apply your passive power, and then the attack damage. Passive power. Hope. Target, an ally is in 3 of you on the first hit of your turn. Effect, deal +5 damage. She deals 5 damage from Hope, 6 damage from Holy Ray, which kills him. Effect, heal 7 a hero. She will heal Yemi again. Bringing her up to 53. Very nice. And all enemies have been defeated, so that should trigger the next event. If all villains are dead, start event 2. Event 2. After getting rid of the Reapers, you take the time to learn how to deactivate the power dampeners. Only 1 statue remains, but before you can get to it, you must face the Kemet themselves. Remove the orange statue. Heroes may now gain mana, charge their skill tokens, and use skills. Each hero gains 3 mana. Transfer all heroes to the red mission tile, remove the red big door, and then we have some enemies at the place. Okay, so we've got a couple things we need to do there. Stir it up by grabbing mana cubes here. Lots and lots of mana cubes. They're color coded by class. assuming yellow for them. Red for him. Purple. And green. Alright, so now we can finally start figuring out what the hell's going on with mana. Here. Gotta remove this door. Boop. Got my Warlock tiles here. These are the new wall connectors that they came out with recently. Useful in a scenario like this. Come on. Cool. Snap that there. Goes there. All right. Remove the orange statue. Heroes gain 3. Transfer all heroes to the red mission tile. There we go. They're storming through the arena of future. Place a Berserker 03 and Warrior 34G. Okay. So here we go. Our 2 new opponents. First of all, we've got a Guardian Warrior. He's got 70 hit points. Wow. He's considerably stronger than these guys. 7 defense, 5 movement. He's got the 8 reaction. Healing slash. Range of 1. Targets a hero with the most cubes. Does 10 damage plus heals 6 to the damaged enemy with the lowest HP. Yikes. Plus he's got some passive powers. Grounded. Triggers if this enemy has moved 2 or less and didn't sidestep. The effect is run to another hero, the closest to this enemy, and deal 5 damage to it. Oh, wow. Interesting. That's really interesting. That's a little more involved of a passive power than I expected the enemies to have. I haven't come across passive powers for enemies at all yet, so that's really cool. And then we've got a Violent Berserker. Hit points 50, defense 6, 5, 8, impact fury, targeting the hero with the most HP, 22 damage, plus effect, push the target 4 spaces. Holy moly, these guys are powerful. His triggers isolation. If no other hero is within 1 of the target, then, what does it mean by no other hero? Okay, so, yeah, my guys have to stay together. It deals 7 damage. Okay. Those are really cool. Man, this game is freaking awesome. It's like a whole nother level of tactics to deal with those passive powers. And they lay out on the board there. All right, rule explanation. Chapter 4 of the rule book, how to use your skill pad. Okay, this is good, because I genuinely don't know how to do this yet. What the hell does this have to do with the skill pad? Did I read that wrong? Chapter 4 of the rule book, how to use your skill pad. Chapter 4, effects. Chapter 5, off-turn other resources. Okay, so it looks like a misprint there on that. Your hero's main actions in a fight are moving and attacking, both of which are done on your turn. This doesn't mean, however, that you just stand still while you watch your enemies and allies exchange turns, because you have several skills that can be used outside of your turn. When you embark on an adventure, other than your set of attack cards, you'll bring with you items and an NPC asset. Items provide... Okay, so that's something different. Skill pads. Heroes possess true grit and powerful spirits fueled by mana. The particularly exciting moments of slaying of foes gives heroes an empowering feeling, while missing an attack strengthens a hero's resolve. Heroes on fire are more capable of acting outside of their turn, either to punish enemies or to act in synergy with allies. Before quest begins, assign 4 skill tokens to 4 of the 14 different skills listed in your skill pad. Some skills are more powerful, but will require you to spend more mana. So we did that in the setup. We got all our skills laid out here. Should be good on the old skillalooskies. Mana cubes. You'll find 8 sets of little cubes, each in the color of a combat roll. They're called mana cubes. You earn them when a villain dies. Each hero gains 1 when a villain dies. Each hero gains 1 when a boss loses a plus 70 HP token. And if you apply an attack's miss effect as a result of missing all of its strikes, you gain 1 mana. Dead heroes continue to earn mana, but only living heroes may spend them. Gaining mana is independent of vision and range, so you can be 14 squares away from a villain's square of death and still gain 1 when it dies. You got your combat, your skill pad, which we've talked about. It has your roll, your stats, your reminder about range and vision, total charge, and mana power. And then the skills and your kind of mana pool. Skill boxes consist of skill name, cost, and effect in mana, effect, and skill token slot. It's divided vertically by 3 power levels. Okay, we talked about that. As soon as all your skill tokens are charged, a powerful effect is discharged. Mana power. This is the only power of the skill pad that you can use on your own turn. Especially useful for when you have 5 mana, which is the max, and you think you'll earn more before spending the ones that you have. So mana power lets you pay X on your turn, charge 1 of your skill tokens. Skill tokens, we know all about the levels. Using a skill. Skills are powers heroes can use outside their turn by spending mana cubes. When all heroes combine their skills, devastating effects may happen in a single turn, allowing you to experiment with many different strategies and combos. I think I talked about this again, but this is awesome. This is another really cool element of game design. The ability to influence combat even when you're not participating in it. This is like, you know, a hard counter to the traditional problem with these types of games, which is people sit around trying to figure out what they're going to do for 10 minutes and you're bored. So because these skills trigger on their turns and could actually influence what they do, you become a participant in their decision making. And so it removes that kind of downtime, which is really, really cool. Yeah, when you use a skill, its effect applies immediately. To use it, you must verify all the following. You have to check when it can be used. It tells you right there. You have to pay the necessary mana. You have to charge the skill token. If it's already flipped, it remains charged and you have to pay an extra mana. So you can do these things more than once. Even when the token is charged, it just costs more. And you can't have used another skill that turn. Maximum skills per turn, 1 hero, 4 team. What? You must not have used another skill that turn. Okay, so each hero could use up to 4 skills in a single turn. Skills on the red half are used when on villain turns. Skills on the blue side are used on ally turns. You can't use them on your own turn. If an attacker dies before the strike phase, i.e. before the roll, the villain dies immediately. The attack doesn't continue. Otherwise, the attacker, even with 0 HP, is considered dead only after the attack resolved. We've talked about that before. Paying the mana cost. To pay the cost, remove it from your mana pool. Throw it away. Charging a skill token and not paying HP. If the skill's effect requires you to pay HP and you don't have enough or you don't want to pay, you may apply the skill's mana cost only to charge the skill token and not apply the effect. Okay. Special skill pad effects, total charge, and mana power. Talk about that later. Okay. I think that's all the information we need, and all we're trying to do is kill these guys. Although this has gotten considerably more tactically crunchy. All right. So, we've got our 2 enemies here. This guy's going for the hero with the most HP. Closest hero. He's going for the hero with the most HP within range. He's taking the shortest path to get to him. And then the safest path if he can. And then the Guardian. And they've only got a movement of 5. So there is some manipulation that can be done to them based off of my positioning if I choose not to attack. But then they'll be unprovoked. They'll get +5 damage. Warriors targeting the hero with the most cubes. That's not going to be a problem unless I spend a cube. I could like remove somebody from that potential. Heals 6 the damaged hero with the lowest, or the damaged villain with the lowest HP. And then we've got their triggers too. So this guy wants to be, you need to mob this guy so that you rob him of his trigger. You need to have a friend with you when you fight him. Deals +7 damage. And this guy moved 2 or less and didn't sidestep. Man, shit's getting real. Ratus, he likes to be alone, but that's not gonna happen. I don't think, because he's gonna take that red guy on. Shipwreck Blow and the Ziffo Strike. The vague startings of a plan here. Yeah, all right. So we're gonna start off, we're gonna activate the Succubus of Envy. My handy dandy. She's definitely got line of sight. He's definitely within range. she's going to blast him with something. But we also have to look at our skill pads. Maybe there's some combination we can do here. Run to an enemy, move it to. That's really interesting. Frenzy, pay 5 HP. Enemy takes 7. Run 5 to an enemy. It takes 1 damage for each space you ran. Start a turn, pay 3 enemy, pull 2 and deal 4 damage. Interesting. On an ally's turn after roll, heal 7 the hero. Its target enemy is shielded 5. Oh, that's not awesome. This one is just straight up heal 3 a hero, and on the enemy turn before roll, the enemy is protected. So let's see. Oh yeah, that's really interesting. Blood petals, 8 square, 1 enemy, 11 damage plus effects. Effect, move 1 the target. If you rolled an even natural number, the target is bleeding. I like the sound of this. I'm gonna blood petal this motherfucker. Alright. Yummy's passive. Target is within 4 of you for the first hit of your turn. Effect, a hero charges 2 skill tokens. Unfortunately, that won't trigger, because he is not close enough. All right, but you will do blood petals on him. He's got a defense of 6. She rolls a 15. So she does 11 damage to the red berserker. Taking him down to what's he got here? Is that 50 or 60? I can't quite see that. 39. Plus the effect. Move 1 the target. She's gonna move him into. Well, actually, she's gonna move him there. If you rolled an even natural number, the target is bleeding 2. I rolled the 15, so I did not. Okay. So that's Yummy's activation. And now he activates. Pushed him back a little bit though. That might mess him up. Okay, so he's going to identify his target. His target is going to be the one with the most HP. That is going to be her. He is going to take the most direct route to her. So the least number of squares. If he goes here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I was trying to screw up his movement with that little maneuver, but I don't think it actually worked, because he can still move out of there. I'm just gonna double check that the swamp only slows you when you step into it. On top of it, combatants are slowed. You can't sidestep or move by benefits. Cancels, hastened. Okay, none of that stuff applies. So he's gonna activate, because he's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And get right up in her business. Now, anything that triggers off of that. Anything I want to do on his turn? Yeah, I think that she will. I think she'll spend a mana cube to cast Barrier. Before roll, a hero is shielded 3. So she's going to shield 3 herself. Token for that? Yeah. Okay. And then we flip the token to show that it is now charged. Right, so he does his attack. Shield 3. She takes 3 less damage from enemy attacks. So he's gonna roll his attack. He is looking for a 7 or better. He rolls a 1. So his attack fails. He does not get to apply the effect. He was not unprovoked. He does get to do his residual damage, but it's decreased by 3, so she only takes 5 damage, taking her down to 60. And his passive didn't trigger because the hero was within 1 of the target, so he's not getting to deal any extra damage on that. Okay. So that was his turn, and now it's my turn. So we're looking at the enemy. We're just remembering that he's going to heal. If he hits, he's going to heal that guy for 6. And his passive is only going to trigger if he hasn't moved. So he likes to stay where he is. He wants to like a guardian, he wants to guard his position. And we're not going to let him do that because we're going to leave him alone for now. All right. Next up. Let's fuck these guys up. I think we're going to get a Nario to get a little action. Vitality Sword. That sounds brilliant. Yeah, why make it complicated? All right, Vitality Sword. So first of all, we look at her. Okay, so I do need to check one thing. If that doesn't shielded come off after it's used, I assume so. Apply only once per turn. Tokens last until the effect is considered or applied. I'm just gonna double check. Condition token ends only if used. Yeah, the effect is considered in combat. Yeah, that makes sense. So she loses. She's protected. She's going to do Vitality Sword. It's activating at the start of her turn. There is at least one enemy in 2 of you. So he immediately takes 5 damage. Him down to 34. He's not mobbed because we're adjacent to each other. So no benefit from that. Or attack. She rolls a 19, so she hits him. She does 10 damage to him, taking him down to 24. And the effect, you heal 4 damage. So she heals up a little bit of that damage that she just took. Bring her back up to 64. Very good. And now she is activated. All right, so we've got the Brute and old Nixie left. And he's gonna do gotta hold off on that shipwreck blow. He doesn't want to move away from him because he'll take a reaction, so he's gonna stay where he is. He's just gonna do the Zephyr strike. 2 squares, 1 enemy. Benefit, ignore all effects applied by enemies on you. Does 12 damage plus the effect. The effect is heal 3 damage per effector token applied by enemies on you. He's not going to get the benefit of his passive, so he is just doing a straight up normal attack. He rolls an 18, so it hits. He's doing that 12 damage, taking this guy down to 12. Deal plus 3 damage, not heal, sorry. Yeah, and he doesn't get the benefit from that. So that goes away. It's his activation. This guy is currently unprovoked, which I think it's going to stay that way because I want to try and finish this sack of turds off. If I can, I only have the 1 ability left. This is where it gets interesting with the number of abilities you have. Of course, I do have my 2 special abilities. I've been trying to save those up. They're really powerful. At the very least, I don't want to use them on this guy who is on the brink of death. Yeah, we are gonna go with Circle of Healing. And I want to check the player guide, I think. I'm just curious if just want to make sure that this still provides value even at this point here. So let's see. Yeah, you got your move action. Yeah, she's not going to move. She's going to focus. It's going to expose him. -3 to his roll, taking him down to 3. Yeah, primary attack, special attack. She could do her. I'm thinking she could just do her basic attack, but that will only do 11 damage. It's not quite enough. Circle of Healing does 8 damage plus her passive, so that will finish him off. Yeah, so Nyx is just gonna do Circle of Healing. 8 squares, 1 enemy, 8 damage. She needs a 3 or better to hit. She gets 16. All right, so she hits. She does 8 damage. Well, first she does passive damage, 5 passive damage. An ally is within 3 of you. The first hit of your turn, deal 5 damage. She deals 5 damage to him, taking him down to 7. And then Circle of Healing does 8 damage, which kills him. Goodbye now. And heals 3, 2 heroes. So she's going to heal Herodotus back up to 57 and Yemi back up to 56. And she triggers her cycle, although I need to look at the timing of the cycle. I'm not exactly sure when that happens. Yeah, at the start of your turn, all of your primary attack cards are flipped. Do the following in order. Unflip all your primary attack cards. Yeah. And then you get to reactivate an item, but we didn't even need one. We didn't even need one to kill this punk. All right, so that's it for Nyx's turn. And now it's Big Bad Green's turn. And he is unprovoked. So, target the hero with the most mana. Everybody except for her has an equal amount of mana. So, target red guy. He's got a movement of 5. 3, 4, 5. His range is 1, so he'll get right up close. Passive does not trigger because he moved more than 2 spaces and he didn't sidestep. So he'll do his healing slash against my 6 defense. And he rolls a 19, so he hits. 10 damage plus the effect. So he takes Herodotus down to 47. Plus the effect. Heal 6 the damaged enemy with the lowest HP. We don't have anybody who has any damage left anymore. Luckily, we cleared that guy out. And so that doesn't do anything. But he was unprovoked, so he does an additional 5 damage on that. Taking Herodotus down to 42. Awesome. That completes the round. Everyone comes off fatigued. And we start the next round. So let's see. Start with Nyx, because she gets all her spells back. So she cycles her cards. And we're back up to full. Life Tide, Pew Pew, Circle of Healing, and Holy Ray. Pew Pew, 8 squares, 1 damage. Forgo your passive power, +3 to the attack roll. Her passive power gives her +5 damage. 7 damage plus the effect. Deal 6 damage to an enemy. You are hastened. Wow. This really has the potential to do a crap load of damage. She's gonna cast this. She's gonna focus, which is gonna expose him down to 4 defense. Which means she just needs a 4 or better. I don't think I can use weapons or items yet. No. So she just needs a 4 or better. Let's see what our buddies can do on her turn. pull 6 an enemy. Yeah, nothing super crazy. Hell, why not? Well, let's make this brutal. The brute is going to use frenzy. He pays 5 hit points, which takes him down 37. And the target takes 7 damage. So he's damaged right off the bat. 70 down to guard. Keeping green warrior. And let's just check that order of operations again real quick. Yeah, I don't think this really figures in. Skills. Their timing is on the sheet. And if there is no timing, then it's just whenever during your ally's turn. So he goes down to 63. She attacks. Whoa. She rolled a 3. Oh no. She needed a 4. Now benefit, forgo your passive power plus 3 to the attack roll. So the question is, in terms of timing, has that already gone away? I think it has, but I want to make sure. Benefits must apply at this moment only when another is not inferred from their text. Yeah, so she would have had to apply the benefit before the roll, but she did not, so she misses. She does her residual damage to him, which is 5 residual damage, and she does not get the benefit of her passive power. And she gains a mana. So she just does 5 damage to him. Which takes him down to 58. That's it for Nyx's turn, and now he activates. Healing Slash, targeting the hero with the most mana. He can't get to Nyx, so he chooses the next best target with the most mana, which is one of these two. And I get to decide which one, and I decide that it is the Bruiser, which means that he's not going to move. So his roll still counts. He still does 10 damage. He's just doing it to the Bruiser instead. Taking her down to 54. And he still gets to heal 6, which actually takes him up to 64. But he didn't trigger a reaction because he didn't move. He's still not unprovoked. And his grounded does still trigger. This moved 2 or less and didn't sidestep. So he deals 5 damage to the Brute as well. Taking him down to 32. Very interesting. Okay. So he's activated. She's activated. Now, my team gets to go crazy. Let's do this. Starting with our Guardian. Sorry, Bruiser and Ariel, the Sword Mage. She does 5 damage at the start of her turn. She's down to 59. Let's take a look at her ultimates, her specials. Flames of Justice. 1 square, 1 enemy, 20 damage plus the effect, which is permanent. You are blessed once per turn. Whenever you attack with blessed, if both of your rolls hit, you heal 4. Very cool. So that's cool because it actually gives you an incentive to use it, you know, maybe earlier in the round because it has that passive effect. So it's just another layer of strategy. You would tend to want to hold these back, but this is beneficial to get out there early. Black Hole. 2 squares, 1 enemy. You move 4. 20 damage plus effect. Deal 8 damage to all other enemies within 3. Okay, she's not going to do that, but she's actually going to do Flames of Justice. 1 square, 1 enemy, 20 damage plus effect. I'm trying to decide. She can't sidestep. Yeah, she can actually. She's gonna spend her movement to sidestep before she even does that. She's gonna sidestep right into that spot. Right next to our baddie. Because now he's exposed. So she sidestepped, she does Flames of Justice. She needs a 3 or better. I said I rolled a 3, didn't I? That did not hit that guy. He's exposed, which takes him from 7 down to 4, not 3. Shit. All right, so I screwed that up. So we do need to check what the residual damage is. She does 15 R damage and she doesn't get the benefit. So he's actually at 44. All right, he's doing his shipwreck blow. Guys, defense is down to 4. He rolls a 5. So he hits. 10 damage, and he loses out on the effect, so which takes the guy down to 34. This is a roller coaster ride with this guy. He's tough. He's got a lot of hit points. Duh, you sack of shit. Yeah, that's basically it. He's done activating. And now the controller gets to activate. And maybe we'll use somebody's skill. I don't think so. Nothing jumping out at me there. She's got Fatal Kiss and Mind Strike left. Mind Strike. Effect is move 1, all enemies hit. It hits 2 enemies, so I definitely don't want to do that. So she's going to do Fatal Kiss. 8 squares, 1 enemy, 9 damage, plus the effect is another enemy takes damage equal to half your natural roll. That sucks because that also is an AoE, and I kind of don't want to do that either. Let's see what we got here. Wow. Wheel of Fortune. Before striking, make 2 guesses about the roll. Under 13 or over 14. And odds and evens. For each correct guess, a different enemy takes 10 hit points of damage. I don't want to do that. I might do this mysterious box, which is a very suggestively named ability. It does 18 damage, so she'll focus, brings him down to 4. If anything that can give her a bonus on her roll. No. Yeah, so she's gonna spend her movement on focus. She's going to target that guy with the mysterious box. 8 squares, 1 enemy, 18 damage. She needs a 4. Come on, baby. She gets a 1. Shit! Damn! 15 residual damage. And that's it. So he was at 39. I'm trying to read my own handwriting here. So I'm down to 24 hit points. Damn, I cannot believe she missed. Fuck. 2 specials essentially wasted. And that's it for that round. Comes back around. Oh, but they did both miss, so they both get mana. Okay. She got a mana cube, and she got a mana cube. Almost forgot. It's all coming together, you know. It's surprisingly hard to do this while managing 4 characters and videotaping it. So that's it for that round, and we'll move on to the next round. Let's finish this. Son of a green guy. Maybe I'll start with the brute this round. Gets to cycle his cards. And let's see what we can do. Savage weapon seems to be the way to go. 1 square, 1 enemy, 13 damage. Let's see if we got anything that can buff us up. Make that attack a little more potent. 4 roll, pay 2 hit points. Target is vulnerable 6. I don't know what vulnerable is. Didn't cross that one yet. Vulnerable. Take +3 damage from enemy attacks. Does vulnerable 6 mean take +6 damage? So there's that's the extent of the detail on that. I guess that's what that means. Yeah. So that would be, you know, that feels like kind of a waste. It's not really doing anything. It doesn't get me the kill. If it were to get me the kill, I might go for that. Don't really think that there's any way to pull that off. So we'll just do the standard attack, I think. We'll save that for later. That's pretty powerful, actually. Yeah, savage weapon. Mobbed. Defense is 7. Rolls a 17. Yep, so it's going to do 13 damage. Come down to 11. Back. Hey, my cubes. Where'd my cubes go? Where'd my cubes go? Had a bunch of these things sitting like right here. Where'd they go? Oh well. Oh, they're there. All right. Now he didn't like that, so now he activates. Again, targeting the hero with the most cubes. Yemi's got 4, and Nyx has got 4. So he's going to target one of them. And I think I get to choose, and I'll just choose Nyx, I suppose. So he's going to move. He's going to sidestep into this spot. Because by moving her, I did give him the opportunity to get in there. And he's not going to take that reaction damage. He did sidestep though, so he won't trigger grounded. And so he's gonna do his attack, and he needs a 7 or better. Which he does not get, he gets a 2. So he whiffs his attack, he does his residual damage, which is 8 residual damage. He's not provoked, there's no critical hits or anything. So he does 8 damage to Nyx. Taking her down to 40 or 52. And that's it for him. Now, his ass is about to get got. But we do need to be careful. We don't want to do a ranged attack when we're next to him, because I believe that will provoke a reaction. It's a little unclear. We'll read it again. Declare the target of a ranged attack in your prime action. Okay, so no, I guess it isn't unclear at all. That's me just interposing other game rules, the rules from other games onto this. Because sometimes it's, you know, if you declare target other than the one that's next to you, you will trigger that reaction. But that's not the case here, so. I'm going to activate Nyx. She's going to sidestep to there. And I don't believe the sidestep has to actually be like... I think it's just move. By the way, the index for this game is fucking fantastic. It is so easy to find stuff in this rulebook. Really knocked it out of the park with that. Yeah, leaving your square to land in an unoccupied adjacent square. So she sidesteps, and then she is going to do He's only got 11 hit points left. I think she's just going to do her basic attack. Basic attack. She gets a +1 to the roll, so she'd only need a 6 to do that. Yeah, I think she's going to do that. Because between her passive and her basic attack damage, it would actually be enough to kill him. Ally within 3 on the first hit of your turn. So we're rolling. She rolls an 8. So, going down that chart, which I have now basically memorized. Activate her passive power, doing 5 damage. Basic attack itself does 6 damage, 11 damage. Takes him down. 2-0. So that's it for the Green Warrior Guardian. And that pushes us into the next phase of our event here. Event 3. All power dampeners are destroyed. Heroes inside the arena must be putting up greater resistance. For Kemet enemies run away and encounter you at the gates. Remove the green statue. Heroes may now apply their items' active power. Items are active, not on cooldown. Remove that. Transfer all heroes to the blue mission tile. Remove the gray and purple small doors. So, going over here. Clean our doors up a little bit real quick. These walls work really well. These warlock tiles. What I ended up doing is I doubled them up so that they were an inch thick, so that you could just lay them straight on the tiles instead of embedding them with the tiles, because making this kind of chained would be much more of a pain in that scenario. And I kind of wish that they just sold 1 inch thick walls. That would be nice, but they don't. So we're going here. And we're spawning. The Archer, a Berserker, and a Warrior. 02G, 04G, and 34B. 34B. That sounds familiar. Was that the same guy that I was? Yeah. 34B is the blue version of the guy that I was just going up against. What in the hell did I do with his miniature? Yeah, there it is. Okay. It's a little bit of chaos here in our gameplay. With all the stuff flying around. He's rushing in. What do we say? 02 and 04. Put a post on the Facebook group for Tanares Adventures about the genius of these cards. I stand by it. These cards are amazing. So it gives you so much variety in your enemies without over crudding up your table. You know, like a good example of that would be like Shadows of Brimstone. I love Shadows of Brimstone, but the enemy cards are pretty big, and so you know, you get a couple different types of enemies out there, and you're in the shit in terms of just stuff laying around your table. Archer is green. As is the Berserker. Now that's interesting because they only give you a set of these bases. So how are you supposed to... I don't have enough bases. I don't have 2 green bases. That can't be right. That seems like a really obvious and stupid oversight. We'll have to see. It's possible. It's also possible that that stuff is in the other box. I'm struggling to find my other... He's already got the blue base on. Yeah, they're definitely both green. Okay, so we got to get those miniatures out. Green Archer and I guess a baseless Barbarian. It's interesting. It's interesting that the rules didn't even call out, like, here's what you do if you don't have enough bases. I don't know. It's not exactly a deal breaker. All right. Archer goes there. Perfect. He looks wrong without that thing. Oh, that makes me sad. Oh well. And then finally, read chapter 4 of the rulebook. Of course, to learn about items. Very good. For each quest, hero can equip 1 weapon and 1 armor the team owns until the quest ends. You can't change them or exchange them between heroes. Passive bonuses, according to their level, weapons add +1, +2, or +3 to all attack rolls. Wow, that's really powerful. Even if the attack has multiple targets. Armor adds hit points. And you go into battle with those additional hit points is what it's saying. Passive bonuses apply at all times you're equipped, even if the item is on cooldown. That's why they were really smart. They put that right on the card. You still get that +1 roll. That's like a classic example of something that I would forget in another game, like, I don't know, like Massive Darkness or something. Would use the ability, flip the card over. Card has no reference or mention to the fact that it provides a passive bonus, and I just wouldn't take advantage of it. Great idea. Items begin the quest active. You apply the active power at the following moment after your attack hits a target for a weapon, or armor after a villain strikes you, i.e. after the roll, regardless of hit or miss. As soon as you apply an active power, flip that item's card. It is on cooldown. When you complete your primary attack cycle, you may reactivate one of your items. Yeah, the items you're available to purchase are determined by the level of your city structures. So that's one of the driving kind of reasons to build up your city. They've got a cost, it's shown right here in loot materials, which I still don't know how you get loot. That really hasn't been covered yet. They've got their type icon, combat rolls. Yeah, cool. So we're good on that. Boy, that really pisses me off. Why aren't there enough base? If you're gonna do this, you gotta put enough bases in. They better be in Arena the Contest. I'm assuming that they are. Because it's such a genius idea to have those bases. To tie it to the card is so easy. You can't screw it up by throwing some rando in there. Who just if you're only gonna have 4 colors, then you know you gotta have multiple bases. All right, moving on. Archer Guardian. He's got 65 hit points, 6 defense, healing shot. Ooh, okay, he needs to die. He targets the hero with the most mana. He's got a range of 8. Does 11 damage plus effect. Heal 6 the damaged enemy with the lowest hit points, and then he flees 3. If he didn't already move this turn. Love this huge symbology right here too. Once you get going, you know, okay, heal 6, please 3. Critical unprovoked. He's got the grounded attribute. If he moved 2 or less and didn't sidestep, then he deals 5 damage and echo 5. Okay. So I was just about to say that, oh, this guy has the exact same the Guardians all have the same passive ability, but his is slightly different because he has that echo effect, which I assume means he hits another guy with it. Very cool, very dangerous. He needs to die. Then we've got the Berserker. He is also a Guardian. In Raging Fury, okay, this is the same. Yeah, so this guy is the same that we faced before. If he doesn't, he's targeting the guy with the most mana, and if he doesn't move, he does an extra 7 damage. And finally, we've got Mystic Warrior, 60 hit points, explosive slash, range of 2, 14 damage plus the effect blast 8. Heroes in one of the target take 8 damage. And he's targeting the farthest hero. Ooh. Okay, so that's interesting. We need to spread out to make sure that this guy doesn't just absolutely annihilate us. And this guy wants to stay away from his buddies. He doesn't want to be next to his buddies. I don't know which one of these 3 guys is the most dangerous. Should be able to mow through that baseless Berserker. Okay. Very, very dangerous, very deadly. Only got 2 heroes left, which means one of these guys is going to be unprovoked. Okay, let's see. So the one thing I know I don't want to do is attack this guy right now when I'm all clumped up like that. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's avoidable that mofo is going to do some damage. And he wants to target the farthest away. Yeah, I'm going to have to get Yemi and the Sword Mage. They got to get in there so that we can at least mitigate the number of people that get hit by this AoE. The guys are all targeting targets with the most mana, which is going to be Yemi. Unless she spends a mana on... See, that's... it's so cool. It all comes together. It's like, they're going to go after her. Unless she spends mana during Anariel's turn, then Anariel and her will be tied. Of course, Nyx will have the most mana then, but that might be advantageous. We might get to trick them into taking a little bit of damage to get to her. Because this guy can't. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he's not going to be able to get there, so to get to Nyx, he's going to have to take that Dark Surge damage. Very interesting. It's so puzzly. Okay, so we're gonna activate Anariel. So she doesn't benefit from her passive because there's no enemy within 2 of her. Of course, that too I could game out a little bit if I moved or attacked with her. I could probably get somebody into range, but I think I would rather let Yemi take this damage. Or rather, I think I'd rather have Yemi spend her cubes. I don't know though. No. No, I see. Oh my God, it's so genius. What an awesome system. You know exactly what I want to do. I'm gonna activate her first. Trigger, target is in 4 of you on the first hit of your turn. Hero charges 2 skill tokens. Okay, that's not gonna happen. But she's gonna move. She's got her movement of 5. She's gonna go 1, 2, 3. Send her up this way. 4, 5. Yeah, and she's gonna do Mind Strike. 8 squares, 2 enemies, 6 damage per hit plus effect. The effect is move all enemies hit 1. Yeah. This is so fucking cool. There's so many cool things I can do, even on a single turn. Anyways, yeah, she's gonna do Mind Strike. Yeah, and during her activation, Anariel is going to use Lure, move or pull 6 an enemy, and she's going to pull this guy. right there, so that he's adjacent to me. In addition, we've got Mind Strike. We have to roll for each enemy. So I'll roll a blue and a green die. And let's see what we get. Oh, son of a... Try to be clever and move the... Okay, she gets a 20 and an 18. So the 20 is a natural crit, which means it does 5 additional damage. That's on Baby Blue here. So he's her primary target. Do 8 damage. And these cards are small. 6 damage plus 5, so 11 damage to the blue bomber. Down to 49. And then just 6 damage to the green berserker. Both those hits go through. Yeah. Taking him down to 54. Then she activates the effect. Move 1, all enemies hit. So, I have a couple options here. I could move this guy back into the spikes, and then he'll take additional damage. Which I think is what I will do. This doesn't play out quite as genius. Well, I'm gonna, just for the sake of showing how cool this is, I still had movement. I could have moved here. She was here. 1, 2, 3. No, I guess I got as far as I could. Never mind. Yeah, so I'm gonna push this guy back onto the spikes. He's gonna immediately take another 4 damage. I was hoping what I could do is get this guy adjacent to me to nullify his special ability, but it didn't quite work out. But still, did 4 more damage, just down to 45. And then this goober, what do I want to do with him? What kind of terrain is he even on? I'm terribly sure what it is. Oh, rubble. Right, and for rubble, ruins. That doesn't really do anything. Let's push him back too to be spiteful. But I was able to get that extra 4 damage on that guy. Oh, that's cool. See, I was hoping I could mess with the passives and basically nullify it, but I didn't read it quite close enough. It says no other villain is within one of the target. I thought it said no other villain is within one of this enemy, and so I was gonna bunch them together and nullify that, but no harm, no foul. So that's it for Yemi. Now, Blue Man Group activates Yeah, so he's got his movement of 5. He only needs to be within range 2. He's targeting Yemi because she's got the most mana cubes and she's the closest. That's why I moved Yemi out here, is so that he wouldn't get the benefit of his blast effect, which really weakens his attack. So he just moves 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got the range of 2, so he'll go the shortest distance he can. So he attacks Remy's doing... Oh, I'm sorry. Damn it. Boy, I did screw this up. That's not at all who he would target. He wants to target the one that's farthest away. I was trying to be clever. I screwed it up. Yeah, so he wants to target the hero who's farthest away. So I definitely did not want to attack him. I wanted to do all that shit with him, is the one that I was trying to trick. Oh well. So he's gonna move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He can't get there, so he's gonna do his... Boy, I wish I could remember the Dark Surge. Yeah, he's gonna take 3 residual damage. Which will actually change his target to the closest hero. So the end result actually is the same, because now he's just gonna go there. He takes an additional 3 damage, taking him down to 42. And he still ends up attacking her because she's the closest. Okay, awesome. So that worked out. The Dark Surge. Yeah. It's attacking. She's only got 6 defense. He rolls a 13. He does 14 damage to her. His disengaged ability is a little weird. Disengage. Trigger. No other villain is within 1 of the target. Effect. Run to another hero the closest to this villain and deal 5 damage to it. Okay, so this happens after he does his damage. So he hits Yemi for 14. Taking her down to 42. So we're going down that list. The passives trigger. Right? Passives trigger after. You apply the passive power if triggered once a turn. Apply the attack damage. Just trying to figure out how that would work. If he does he do this? It reads like he does this run to another hero and deals 5 damage to it before he moves. But that would put him in a position to potentially take damage moving away from moving away from them as a reaction to get to her. No other villain is within one of the target. You typically trigger the passive power. It only triggers if you hit, and to hit he would have had to be in range. It's a little confusing, the order of operations there. Like, I wish you just said somewhere that passive powers only trigger during blank, but what it says is yeah, it triggers immediately after the trigger is met for the first time, i.e. before any other effects or the attack damage apply. They call out the tank passive power unique moment. Since tank's main function in combat is to protect its allies from attacks, it's the only combat role whose passives trigger on a villain's turn. That's fine. The passive power of most attackers will trigger at this moment. If it's the first time in the turn that it happens, apply the effect. See, I wish it just said passive powers always trigger at this point. Because otherwise you're sitting here and you're trying to figure out when they trigger, because they often don't specifically say when. Like, let's see, one of these guys. See, hers says at the start of your turn. This just says disengage, trigger. No other villain is within one of the target. Okay, so this is so confusing. The target was Nyx. He moved and then had to use his Dark Surge. At which point his target becomes her. No other villain is within one of the target. The effect is that he runs to another hero, the closest to this enemy, and deals 5 damage to it. But that would make it impossible for him to land his attack. I'm really not sure how that's supposed to happen. I'm assuming it means no other villain is within one of the declared target, not the kind of secondary target. Because otherwise he's like zigzagging all over the place and potentially taking okay, yeah, that could use an errata, and it may be in the errata. I don't know. I'll take a look. I'm just gonna ignore it for now. I don't really see how that. I don't know how that works. That's worded very oddly. No other villain. So, yeah, it almost seems like what should have happened is he should have run to her deal 5 damage to it, and then continue on his turn. But wouldn't run. Like, this isn't me trying to be deliberately obtuse, I just run. If a villain runs towards a barrel, it stops moving when it's within 1 of that barrel, even if it's only moved 2 squares. Each square moved must decrease or increase the distance between the combatant and its described destination. When this is no longer possible, the effect ends. If your path requires you to cross the edge of a barrier or any other blocked square, you must spend 2 points to move diagonally through it. Come on, motherfucker. Take the shortest path to something. It's unclear though. It doesn't specify if it's is it using his movement still? So if he was back here, this triggers because she's the farthest away and there's no other villain within 1 of his target. Run to another hero the closest to this and deal 5 damage to it. So I suppose 2, 3, 4, 5. I suppose he would have moved there, done 5 damage to her. It doesn't say anything about changing targets, but he's out of movement, so he would have to do another he would have to do his dark surge. I don't know, it's a little confusing. I'm just gonna leave it as it was, and we'll deal with that on the next round if this motherfucker's still alive. Yeah, so that's it for him. Now it's Anariel's turn. And because she pulled on her turn, this triggers. At the start of your turn, if there's at least 1 enemy within 2 of you, it takes 5 damage. So the green archer takes 5 damage. Taking it down to 55. And I'm just going to do bone destruction. Let's see if we want to. This is where we can game the system again. Because this green guy wants to target the guy with the most mana, which is, if she spends, then that will be Nyx, and so he'll actually go around her. Yeah, so she's going to spend a mana on Anariel's turn to do harm before roll. Pay 2 hit points, bringing her down to 40. Enemy is vulnerable 6. and Donariel's targeting him. So now he's going to take an extra 6 damage from that. 5 to a target. See, it's like the rule for run is very... I guess it still triggers all the same effects and whatnot. I'm going to go ahead and spend another mana, trigger Onslaught with him. Run 5 to target. It takes 1 damage for each space you ran. Maybe not. I'll actually spend it just on Frenzy. Pay 5 hit points. Target takes 7 damage. Herodotus is down to 27. And the I'm going to do that damage to this blue guy. He's going to take 7 more damage. Taking him down to 35. Now, finally, Bone Destruction. 1 square, 1 enemy, 11 damage plus the effect. Target is weakened. He's already taking 6 extra damage. Well, and that's because he is vulnerable. So now he's vulnerable and weakened. But we'll deal with that if it hits. Archer's got 6 defense. Roll the 10. Okay. So we connect. We do 11 damage plus the 6 damage from vulnerable. So that's 17 total damage to the archer. Him down to 38. And he's weakened. Once per turn, he does -3 damage. We're going to put this on his card to represent that. Is that all? And that's it for the Bruiser. So he activates now. He wants to target the hero with the most mana. The most mana is held by Nyx. He's got a range of 8, healing shot, 11 damage plus the effect. But he is going to sidestep because he doesn't want to take the reaction damage. So he moves there, takes his shot. Sidestepping removes his grounded bonus. He's taking his shot against Nyx's 7 defense. He rolls a 2, he misses. So he does 8 residual damage. No critical, no unprovoked, no effects. And no passive. Plus, he's actually weakened -3, so he actually only does 5 damage to Nyx. All right, that leaves us with the Berserker, who is unprovoked, so he's going to get his bonus attack. He's attacking the hero with the most mana. Which is Nyx. So he's going to move 5, 1, 2. Well, let's see. Is there any way for him to get around her without most direct route? Shortest path. And we need to remember the rule about shortest path and difficult terrain. He does want to move as little as possible and as safely as possible. Check if the favorite target is reachable. Take into account movement and parry. So that's one of the things that I've been screwing up. Yeah. Check if the favorite target is reachable. His favorite target is Nyx, but he can't get there. So he moves on. He switches to his next favorite target, which would actually be Yemi. So he just goes. Yeah. He hasn't moved to her less because he had to move up to get to her. So he just does his attack in Raging Fury. He's unprovoked, so he getting that +5 bonus damage. He needs to beat her 6 defense, and he rolls a 1, so he misses. He still does his residual damage of 8. But that's it. Taking Yemi down to 32. All right. And now everyone's activated. Take all our cubes back. And we do this whole crazy thing again. The blue guy is my priority. I'm deeply concerned about him and his AoE attack, especially with my current positioning. They set you up to fail here by sticking y'all onto a board together onto a set of 4 tiles. So what can I do that will either hit that guy the hardest or just make it harder for him to get to his target? Wow, Oxygen Siphon is very powerful. 22 damage plus effect permanent. Choose an enemy. It ignores all its helpful conditions and takes 3 damage at the end of all of its turns. The green... The blue Mystics only got 35 hit points left. I bring him pretty close to done. Not close enough though. I think we're definitely going to need to use one of our specials if we want to have a chance of taking that guy out. Giant Form. 8 squares. It's a ranged attack, 8 squares, all enemies in a 3x3 area. 13 damage hit per hit plus effects. Effects, you may run to one of the targets hit. Permanent, your primary attacks have +1 range and deal 4 damage to another enemy within 2 of you on a hit once per turn. Okay, wow, so that's really powerful. And then he's got Titanic Power, which he would have to move. Giant Form's definitely got some potential because he could hit both of them. And it specifically says all enemies, so he won't trod upon his friends. Wheel of Fortune doesn't really get me what I want. Black Hole, 2 squares, 1 enemy. You move forward 20 damage plus effect. Effect deal 8 damage to all other enemies within 3 of the target, then place them in a free square within 1 of the target. Mess around with their movement. I think I'm going to go ahead and activate the Brute. Gonna do this giant form, guys. He's not fucking around. Okay. It's got a range of 8 squares, so he's targeting this area. It's all enemies. 13 damage per hit plus effects. And he's gonna use his longsword. Not sure when we declare that exactly in the order of operations there. Okay, you do it after you hit. All right. So starting with, we get the blue and the green guy. Targeting blue. Gets a 14, hits blue. Targeting green, he gets a 10, hits 10. So he hits them both. The effect is you may run to one of the target's hit. You may run, but I don't want to take like reaction damage, so I'll just move to there. That's his run. And he does 13 damage to each of them, plus the effects. And he'll trigger both of them. He's not targeting one of them specifically, so I believe he will activate both of them. Blue Mystic's down to 23. Green Archer. It's down to 25. And he gets this permanent bonus. Your primary attacks have +1 range and deal 4 damage to another enemy within 2 of you on a hit. And that is permanent. Oh, and he got trigger, no ally is within 1 of the target. First half of your turn, gain 1 cube, move to an ally. I'm gonna put this here. He gets a mana back. And he would have moved. I think he would actually move Nyx back. Mitigate the risk of that burst attack since she's got so much mana. Okay. Oh. Plus I was doing the +5 damage. So I used my long sword on that. Does it hit both of them? Use your weapon's active power. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about not. So he did an additional 5. 20 to the green archer. Brings the green archer down to 20. And the blue mystic down to 18. All right. That's it for his activation. Next up, I'm assuming both of these guys are going to activate because he declared multiple targets. So starting with the blue mystic, wants to target the hero who's farthest away. Still has line of sight to Nyx. Can he get there? Technically, yes. So disengaged. No other villain is within one of the target. This is true. So he runs to another hero, the closest to this enemy, and deals 5 damage to it. I really don't understand how that's beneficial for him, because that means he's going to move here. And do 5 damage to Yemi. Taking her down to 27. But now he's screwed up his own activation, because he's used one of his movement points, which means he's not going to be able to get there now. So he's going to go there, which he's going to take her reaction damage, which is 7. Which takes him down to 11. It's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Can't get there. And I think that's it. I don't think they use the Dark Surge like on the fly. I think they decide to use it if they can't get to the guy. Yeah, it determines his target. So he changes targets, which is unfortunate. No, see, even that shit, this all happens before he moves. Yeah, so I think he just loses his turn. It's really, his ability is very odd. Whenever a villain attack hits, check whether the trigger was met. Okay. All right. That clears it up. Villains operate differently than heroes, which is a little bit annoying because, you know, if the passive powers work the same across the board, it's one less thing you have to remember. Okay, this makes more sense. He has to hit with his attack before that shit will even trigger. So, and it is called disengage. So, going back, he's still at 18 hit points. Yemi, he's still at 32. He activated. He's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's taking reaction damage from the brute, which means he takes 8. Knocks him down to 10. Now he's attacking Yemi, and if that attack is successful, then he'll trigger his passive attack. Okay, it definitely helps. So he's attacking. He rolls a 4. He misses. So he just does his residual damage of 8 to Nyx. Her down to 39. And his passive power, he does not get to take advantage of. Yep. All right. Whew. It's a little... clears it up a little bit. Next up, we've got the archer, because he was also hit by that AoE. Wants to also target the hero with the most mana. He's got a range of 8. So he's going to sidestep to avoid the reaction. He's going to move right there. He's going to take his shot. Looking for 5 or better. He gets a 3. God, these guys are inept. Misses. Again, that's the second time this jackass has missed. And he does his 8 residual damage instead. Nyx is pretty... wait. What's his residual damage? 8. Yeah, he takes Nyx down to 29. And that is his activation. Now it comes back to my group. Priority number 1, finish off the blue mystic. He's only got 10 hit points left. So let's see if there's a way that Nyx can like heal herself for a bunch and still kill this guy. Allies within 3 of you. 2, 3. Yeah. Yeah, she's gonna do life tithe. So she needs to get 6 or better. rolls an 8. She gets it. 8 squares against 1 enemy. She's targeting the blue guy, and maybe didn't make that ultra specific, ultra clear. 5 damage for her passive, 7 for her effect kills the blue mystic. Kills the blue mystic. Stays on the board, and then her specials activate. First of all, she gets to move an ally 3. So she's gonna move her 1, 2. Three. It's not taking reaction damage from a guy who's already dead. And then you or an ally heal 6, or both of you heal 4. And she'll just heal. Who needs that heal the most? Yeah, she'll heal Herodotus for 6. Him up to 33. Cool. That's it for her. That's it for Mr. Blue. I've got Yemi and Anariel left. Mr. Green is down to 20 hit points. That's within kill range with a special. With her special, Black Hole. And it will even hit him as well. Yeah, perfect. Black Hole, 2 squares, 1 enemy, you move 4. So first of all, her passive triggers. Start your turn, there's at least 1 enemy within 2 of you. Takes 5 damage. Knocks him down to 15. She's throwing out a Black Hole with her longsword for plus 5 damage. Benefit is she gets to move 4. I don't need or want that benefit. Just 20 damage. Hits on a 6. It's on a 6, right? Yep. Oh, she misses. Shit. She rolls a 4. No way to mitigate that. She does the 15 residual damage, which is actually still enough to kill this guy. Now I want to double check that the passive powers it says the passive power of most attackers will trigger at this moment. At the start, this says at the start of your turn though. Yeah, so she still kills that guy because she does 15 residual damage. She only had 15 left. Green Archer is no more. Goodbye, Green Archer. It's nice knowing you. Where'd all your friends go, buddy? Now Yemi's up. She might as well go for broke. She's gonna go for Wheel of Fortune, I think. So she needs to sidestep so that she doesn't take reaction damage from him. And then she goes Wheel of Fortune. 8 squares, 1 enemy. Before striking, make 2 guesses about your roll. 13 or 14 plus and odd or even. Okay, so I'm gonna guess that it's gonna be odd and under 13. Now note, this doesn't affect whether it hits or not. I still only need a 6 to hit his ass. It just affects the bonuses. Well, I was right, but it doesn't hit. Damn. So she just does the 15 residual damage to him. Which brings him down to 39. That's stupid. Oh, but I keep forgetting when I miss, I get mana for that. I get mana on all these misses. She got mana on her miss. And she got more mana on her miss. Lots to track. And now finally he activates. He's not unprovoked. So he's just doing his normal activation. 1 hero with the most mana. Yemi's got as much as Nyx now because of that miss. So he just moves right there. He did move 2 or less, so he deals +7 damage if his passive power activates. Which I gotta remember, just read this card down. Yeah, 17 plus effect. It's attacking her. Got her defense of 6. He rolls a 7. Gets the hit. Nothing to mitigate that. Too late. Could have looked at the, my magic. 17 damage plus. Okay, so 17 damage. Yemi takes 17. Damn. She's in danger. Yeah, because that hit alone takes her down to 5. And then his trigger takes her down, so she is actually down. And when a hero dies, send me to this page. I don't see anything about death here. I see it on the next page. Yeah. So we put her, a player token, whatever that might be. Let's see. Oh. She's off the board. That goes there. And then on the next turn, first aid will activate. He goes on. Hero, enemy with the highest HP gains 1 empowered 3 token. Yeah, so he gets empowered. Hope you enjoy it. And that's it for that round. All right, moving into what is likely to be the last round. Pull our fatigue tokens. And we get ready to end this. So, want to check real quick on those death rules again. Just trying to remember the timing for which she will resurrect herself, because we have those first aid tokens, so those are going to come into play. Boy, yeah, they're a little off on the numbering with this index. Yeah, they're still included in the turn order. At the start of a dead hero's turn, you spend a first aid token to heal. Yeah, I wonder if I can get through this without doing that. I'd prefer to do that. Let's fuck this guy up. It's time. It's time for Oxygen Siphon from old Nixie. Yeah, so she's gonna have to move. One, two, 3. That's good enough. Should be good enough, definitely. 8 squares, 1 enemy. Benefit is +3 to attack roll if you are the combatant closest to the target. Uh-oh. That's unfortunate. I could get close to him. I don't know about closest. I guess I could tie it. I believe she was there. Her movement. She's gonna move in a 5. Can she do it? Yeah, she can move to here. And then she's as close. I'm assuming that counts. Yeah, +3 attack roll if you're combatant closest to the target. 22 damage plus the effect. Okay, so let's roll and then we'll see about all that. Not had a lot of luck rolling these specials. Come on, baby. She needs 6. Let's see about casting some magic to weaken this little punk. Sure, I'm gonna use Onslaught. Run 5 to an enemy. It takes 1 damage for each space you run. Run is still a very unclear rule to me. I still really don't know how it works, if it ignores terrain or how it's different from just a regular movement. But I think this is pretty cut and dry. He's gonna go 1, 2. No. Oh, this is so interesting. I can't do that. If I do that, then she will no longer be the closest. That ain't happening. And I don't have anything else that I can use on a hero turn. Okay, so we're not getting that bonus. But we're going all out with Yemi. She needs... Now she gets a +3 to her roll. And she's going to use her bow, but we declare that after we roll. 7. She's got 10. She uses the short bow for +5 damage. She hits him right off the bat for 27 damage. Wow, that's a lot of damage. That takes him down to 12. Plus she does an additional 5 damage because her passive triggers allies within 3 of you, first hit of your turn. Taking him down to 7. Damn, she damn near one-shotted this guy all the way from 39. And then the effect permanent. Choose an enemy. It ignores all its helpful conditions. See you later. And takes 3 damage at the end of all of its turns. Wow. Damn, Nyx is badass. Okay, that's it for Nyx. Now he activates. But let's see what we can do on his turn with these guys. Well, I might be able to kill him. If I can do some damage. Yeah, he can. Start a turn, pay 3 hit points, pull 2, and deal 4 damage to an enemy. And she's got... Make an 8 range basic attack. Okay, awesome. So villain turn, we're spending mana. In this order. She pays 1 mana to activate Throw. Pay 4 hit points, make an 8 range basic attack. So she's down to 35 hit points. She's doing a basic attack. She got a 20. Ha ha! What an ending! Yeah! Fuck you! 8 range basic attack does 8 damage plus 5 for the crit, thereby killing the hapless Berserker Guardian. That was awesome. That's something I don't think I've ever seen that happen in a dungeon crawler before, where I killed somebody, when I killed an enemy on their turn. Very unique. Very exciting finale to our gameplay here. That was fucking dope. All right. As soon as all villains are dead, you win the quest. Then read 1.2 in the journal. Go to the second section of quest chapter 01. You hear a deafening explosion. Close by, an entire section of the stands explodes onto the battlefield. What could have done this? Suddenly, you're sorry you asked that question. The shadow of a giant blocking the sun is the first sign of its presence. You're too weak to fight, but even if you could, you wouldn't have had the time to react to the Titan's mace swinging sideways. You're hit and hurled downhill. Everything goes dark. 3. Okay, so you spend the next few days waking up and passing out in a hospital outside Fisherman's Wharf. A woman with brown hair is in the next gurney. One time, her eyes roll over and her hair becomes a bright red. With a dry, guttural voice, she prophesizes. Your journey is about finding a gloomy, humid, dark place. How to get there? Once inside, how to leave? One answer is in a dwarven kingdom. The other is in a dwarven king. To receive, one must first give. You pass out again. Conclusion. Victory! The conclusion contains your discoveries and the aftermath of your quest for the world. It's been a while since your last session and you want to recall, if it's been a while since your last session and you want to recall your story, search for these sections in the quest chapter you played. What the fuck does that mean? Must be sending you back to the scenario book, I guess. You're getting progressively better. You begin to receive news of what happened. With a north-south cordon of ships along the coast and an army of undead, including a giant titan, the Kemet, under the leadership of Gulag, conquer Fisherman's Wharf. Establishing headquarters on the battlefield of the Arena of Future, no citizens are allowed to leave, and the Kemet attack or capture anyone on the outside who comes too close. Many heroes in Iron Hand troops attending the inauguration of the Arena of Future died or disappeared. No one has seen the Emperor since. Nobody had seen the Emperor before that either. He had disappeared already, apparently. You were brought to the improvised town of Warfugi, which is quickly growing with the influx of refugees and helpers. Grab quest card 1. Okay. Now we're back to it. I believe these are the quest cards. Let's just take another quick look. Yes. Grab quest card 1. Whenever you win a quest, you gain its quest card. Notice the differences between an adventure card, whose front side contains merely a letter, and a quest card, which contains a number and the title of the quest played. Later, you'll learn what a quest card does. Grab the campaign log and fill in the star-shaped slot next to the name of quest 1. This quest has ended. Remove adventure card A from the game. Pausing the session. After the campaign properly begins, the phrase, "This quest has ended," is a good checkpoint if you wish to take a break from playing, because the calendar will tell you exactly what to do next. Any other time you take a break, take note of where exactly you're stopping the game. Begin Chapter 2, Introduction to Warfugi in the City Book. Okay. Let's take a look at quest card 1, and then that'll be it for our first playthrough, which was epically long. I think this whole series is like 5 hours long or something like that. During the campaign, quest cards grant you masteries and contain effects. Hold on 1 second, sorry. My biggest weakness, I love these board games, but the cards are so hard to read that I have to improvise like little snap-on magnifying lenses for my glasses so that I can fucking read this tiny text. Contain effects that may be played in a Tanarian region in the world phase. Both of these allow you to gain specific types of war points that unlock campaign perks. Check what these perks are in the campaign log and check in the world map which regions give more war points of a particular type, so you can go after these when choosing which adventure to play. The campaign begins in the city book. If you're playing the introduction, resume it. Okay, that's kind of weird. I don't really know. I don't really know what the point of this card is, but I believe that that's it for our playthrough of tutorial scenario 1. So in the next installment, because believe it or not, I'm crazy enough to continue taping this, we are going to move on to scenario 2, chapter Introduction to Warfugee. Yeah, chapter Introduction to Warfugee. So I hope you enjoyed this. There were a lot of mistakes, especially as this came kind of to a conclusion. I was very, very exhausted and started screwing up some of the rules. And some of the rules were just... The thing about the villain passive power was just really throwing me for a loop until I found that one very small reference to villains only use their passive power during blank. But other than that, I had a hell of a time playing through this, and I can't wait to play more. I mean, I'm ready to go. If I didn't have kids and a family that I have to hang out with on this cold and blustery Sunday morning here in Colorado, I would just keep going. As it is, I got to deal with them, spend time with them, and then I'll be right back at it, because this is right up my alley. I love what I'm seeing here. So hope you enjoyed it too. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will talk to you later.